Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum friends. Welcome back to the latest Manchester United verse episode. Now we have got breaking news that Lisandro Martinez is closing on to his move towards Manchester United. Now this report has been coming in from various media outlets, from various journalists. Now the mainstream journalists such as Fabrizio Romano has also given his opinion on this matter, that this one is edging closer, so we might see that Lisandro Martinez in some few hours will complete his deal from Ajax to Manchester United. Remember that Lisandro Martinez had an interest from Arsenal as well, and they were pretty much almost, you could say that they bid like twice. First bid was around 36 million euros, then the second bid was around 40 million euros, which were rejected by Arsenal. And we do know that Ajax had so many players who have left the club: Mazraoui, Gravenberch, Stefan Haller, and it seemed that Ajax didn't want to sell any more of their stars. But right now, what the concern over here was that they didn't want to sell more of their players. But Erik ten Hag, who has joined Manchester United, he was looking eager to get Julian Timber, and Timber was the first name which was linked to Manchester United. The deal was almost like, in sense of completion, you could say 80 to 90%, everything was accepted. But then the international break came in and the player head towards the Netherlands camp, where his national team manager Louis van Gaal apparently said to him that if you do not play regularly, then you might not be able to go to the World Cup. So that did play in, and the player opted to stay at Ajax, whereas United was still hunting for that centre back, which they thought was requested by Erik ten Hag, and he was presented by a name called Pau Torres. Now the Manchester United recruitment team, or you could say the scouting system, had pinpointed that Pau Torres was the player that United were looking at, but Erik ten Hag thought that Pau Torres is a good player, but he still wanted a player who knew his system, and that was Lisandro Martinez. Lisandro Martinez is an Argentinian national team player. He plays on the left hand side of the centre back position. He has a proper left foot. He can make those through passes from deep end. He is a progressive passer. He has all those kind of passing range. He can play the ball out from the back. Now this is what kind of profile Erik ten Hag is looking for. He has worked with the player already and he believes in the player's quality. Now United do know that this whole deal is going to cost them a little bit more, because due to the fact that Ajax do know that this is going to be a World Cup year, and because of the reason that this is a World Cup year, what tends to happen is that if player performs better for their country, their valuation does goes ahead, and that tends to raise the value of the player. And Ajax would have thought that, maybe we could earn a little bit more, maybe 10 to 20 million euros more, as the players do a good tournament. Then what happens is the other teams do come in, and then the bidding war starts, where Ajax thought that there might be more value into such and so player, and they did knew that Arsenal were interested, and because Erik ten Hag had played him under him, and they thought, maybe United would come in and there might be a bidding war. For that reason, Ajax were holding off for more money. Now the player made this clear to the club that he wanted to go and play in Premier League, and he did knew that United are not in the Champions League, even though this is a World Cup year, but he still wanted to come to Manchester United. He still wanted to come and play for Erik ten Hag, because the relationship is superb between the two of them, and that is the main reason that Lisandro Martinez did opt to play for United in the first place. Now the question comes in mind is that United, they have already got Malacia from Feyenoord. They are working on a deal with Eriksen to sign on free. Of course, there's going to be some wages and some signing on fee. Now, with even adding Eriksen as well as Malacia, the net spend is almost 17 million pounds. Now, 17 million pounds, the United, they have sold Andres Pereira to Fulham, which comes around to 10 to 13 million pounds. So you could say that net spend is around 5 million, because United do want to back Erik ten Hag in this transfer market, and Erik ten Hag has requested them with a list. The list contains the players which he thinks is going to make him work the way United wanted to be under him. That's the way he wants that United should play, in this manner. For that reason, he has brought his own request, and Lisandro Martinez is one of them. So United were pretty much upset, specifically the fans, because they thought the other clubs are making their moves. They're already active in the transfer market, the likes of Arsenal, the likes of Manchester City. Just right now, a few moments ago, there were some news that Chelsea are already done Koulibaly. They've already got Raheem Sterling. They're working on Nathan Ake. So those kind of things do really make a fan a little bit suspicious that why aren't the club going in for the player. Now for Lisandro Martinez, if he does join United, then that net transfer spend is going to go upwards. It will go up towards, you could say, around, the fee which has been reported is going to be about 55 million euros. So you could say that's going to be around 48 million pounds. So that's including the add-ons. So United will be spending around 45 million pounds. So the transfer spend is going to go towards 50 million. Now the major key over here with Lisandro Martinez is that if he comes into United, where does he play? Because there's already Rafael Varane as well as Harry Maguire, who are the two clear favourites to start. Now, is Erik ten Hag going to change the system to which he will be able to accommodate all of these three centre backs? Now, this is a question that Erik ten Hag will answer. Maybe there might be the fact of the matter that Erik ten Hag does employ Lisandro Martinez alongside Rafael Varane or Harry Maguire. Now, if he tends to do that, because remember, Erik ten Hag does things quite meticulously. He makes sure that every player who's playing in his system has the right attributes. So when we talk about right attributes, that means that if a right centre back is playing, then he needs to play with his right foot. If the left centre back defender is playing, then he needs to use his left foot. So for that kind of matter, the person who is trying to apply that kind of mentality or that kind of philosophy into his team, he goes for even minor details, for little details, and those details make him much more closer to that winning notion to which he's going for. Now the question here is that if Lisandro Martinez do join Manchester United, United have so many centre backs on their books, such as Phil Jones, Eric Bailly, then you have Rafael Varane, Lindelof, as well as Harry Maguire. So that means United will have to sell some of their defenders. We do know that Eric Bailly really had a good match yesterday against Liverpool, but we still expect them to leave, such as Phil Jones, Eric Bailly, as well as Axel Tuanzebe. So United have got plenty of defenders in their squad. I'm sure that there will be 2 or 3 outgoings happening in order to get Lisandro Martinez into the playing squad, and can expect the likes of Lindelof as well as Harry Maguire sitting out, as I do think that Lisandro Martinez as well as Rafael Varane are going to be the starting two. Whereas in regards to Lisandro Martinez fee, it was reported that United did made a bid of 45 million euros plus some add-ons, but then that bid was improved, and some of the outlets are still saying that the true valuation is still to be reached. There's still further negotiations to be taking place between both of the clubs, so we'll have to wait on this one, what's going to be the final valuation. But so far the latest one which has been coming in, and I'll be just reporting it to you in a second, it's with me, and it did say that the add-ons were the key over here, that what do Manchester United do agree upon. And for that matter, we're just gonna see over here, I have got it with me, and there it is. It was reported that 55 million euros was in total with the add-ons included, and Manchester United had 50 million euros bid, including rejected last week, but Ajax are now open to sell, so that means they have offered more money. So that means most likely the deal will go through, because Manchester United are willing to pay a little bit more. So we can definitely see that the add-ons are gonna be the key over here. So if United do offer more money to Ajax, then Lisandro Martinez will definitely join United. Now, other than this, we'll be talking about Frankie de Jong as well. Now with Frankie de Jong, the issue is that John Murtough as well as Richard Arnold flew to Barcelona yesterday. They met the executives of Barcelona. Everything was agreed in principle. the whole thing, the deal, and both of the parties have accepted each of the conditions. The valuation is met by both of the clubs. Both of the clubs think that this is the correct valuation. They have agreed upon it. The problem stands at the player side, who doesn't want to leave Barcelona. His first and foremost issue with Barcelona is that he doesn't want to leave. Secondly, there is an issue of his unpaid wages. There was this agreement between the player and Barcelona that the payment which the club were going to pay to the player in last season were not paid. There was an agreement of deferred payment, which meant was that the player will get the payment a little bit later, and for that case Barcelona has not paid Frankie de Jong that money. That money is reported around 17 million euros. So Frankie de Jong is owed around 17 million euros by Barcelona. So Frankie de Jong's stance is this, that he doesn't want to leave the club. He is not willing to accept a lower salary offered by Barcelona. He doesn't want to do that. He so far hasn't mentioned anything in regards to Manchester United. He hasn't said anything that he's looking forward to join Manchester United. So far the news is that Erik ten Hag has spoken to him multiple times, explaining him how important is he for him if he joins Manchester United. He wants to build this new Manchester United around him, and he thinks that Frankie de Jong is the important piece of that puzzle. Frankie de Jong knows that what Erik ten Hag thinks of him, what he wants of him, what is the real desire of Erik ten Hag to get him, and Erik ten Hag has said this to him clearly. Now with Frankie de Jong, he still thinks that he loves Barcelona. His dream was to play for Barcelona. He never thought that he would leave the club. Now Frankie de Jong, if there is no agreement between him and Barcelona regarding that deferred payment, then the problem will stay the same. But for Manchester United, they have to think beyond Frankie de Jong. Remember that Eriksen deal still has to be signed and the medicals have to be taken. So far, nothing new has been heard on it. There has been no development on that story. Maybe Eriksen would be waiting to see what do Manchester United do in the transfer market, and then he would go and make his decision. But right now, so far, the case isn't seen to be moving anywhere, and for that reason Manchester United need to be careful over here, because they're treading in difficult waters. Because remember that the other targets which they should be looking at, such as Tielemans or other player, what will happen is Arsenal, they are moving on those targets. Now Arsenal are looking at Tielemans. They would want to acquire Tielemans, they would want to acquire Paqueta, they want to look at Ruben Neves. Now if other clubs do move into for those targets, then what will Manchester United do if they do not get Frankie de Jong as well as those other names? United need to be very careful over here, because we do remember David Moyes' first season when United were linked to Fabregas, United were linked to Toni Kroos, and in the end United made the last bid, you could say on the deadline day, for Fellaini, and they could have gotten Fellaini throughout the whole summer, but because of the targets they weren't able to get, they had to settle for him. And even though they didn't wanted him, but in the end that was the only player which was available in the market, and then they had to settle for Fellaini. And we do all remember what Fellaini was to Manchester United fans, and for that reason United are headed in the same direction. So if they do not get this hurriedly, United will be in a very difficult situation, because United fans are not happy at all with the club operation running right now. So far the only deal which has been completed is of Malacia from Feyenoord, and there is no evidence yet to be seen that United are moving on to the other targets. We do know that United are also interested to get Antony of Ajax. Now before they do that, they need to get this Lisandro Martinez deal done. Once this is done, then they will speak to Ajax about Antony, and Ajax will certainly would want much more higher fee for Antony than Lisandro Martinez, and United will face some difficulties over there, because remember that Cristiano Ronaldo wants to leave United, and United will have to look into the market for a replacement. They can't be an equal replacement for Cristiano Ronaldo, but they will have to look for a striker. So that means they will have to spend more. And right now, what kind of strikers are available in the market in terms of quality, in terms of substantial quality, in terms of what Erik ten Hag wants in his striker. And in that regard, there is not so much of a bigger list, but there are still options, and there are still plenty of options. What we're going to do is I will do another episode in which we will be running where what United can target in terms of other strikers, and I will do that episode soon, maybe tomorrow, and we will see what kind of strikers can United go in hunt for, who could be the perfect replacement for Cristiano Ronaldo, where we will pitch about 8 names and see which would be the perfect striker to join Manchester United. I wouldn't say as a replacement of Cristiano Ronaldo, but you could say as a new striker, so we will see on that front. So in regards to Frenkie de Jong, this deal needs to be happening soon as possible. If it doesn't happen, then United are in a very big pickle. They will have to go for other targets, but if they do not get the other targets as well, then there's going to be a backlash of United fans, and hopefully United board would be thinking about this, that they really need to hurry up on this matter. But so far United are edging closer to Lisandro Martinez, so Lisandro Martinez will be the second signing of United, and hopefully Eriksen will sign as a third player. Hopefully there will be some news on Frenkie de Jong, and then we can move on to Anthony. So we're looking forward to how this transfer window goes. So guys, please do subscribe to the channel, please press that like button, give in your suggestions in the comment section, and hopefully I'll be seeing you tomorrow, where we'll be doing that special episode of who should United target as their next striker, where we will be giving you 8 candidates, and what we'll do is we'll do a vote on that one, and you guys can take part in that vote, where we will pitch 2 players against each other, and the winner of that will go further into that round, and finally we'll settle for the one which we think is going to be the perfect striker that United should go for. So guys, please do subscribe, press that like button, and thank you very much for watching. So very good news for United fans that Lisandro Martinez is edging closer, so soon you'll be hearing that it's a done deal. So I want to thank you very much for tuning in, and see you soon, see you tomorrow, have a nice one, bye bye.